Happy Wednesday morning. Hope your week's going good. I just pray peace over you, blessings over you, and I hope this teaching blesses you. With that said, let's hop right into it. Now, continuing along the theme of the Old Testament and the New Testament are interconnected, if you go to the Old Testament, it's easy to be like, it's easy to think, oh man, like it's almost like the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament are completely different. But you'll see that the God of the Old Testament wants relationship with people just as much as the God of the New Testament. They're the same God. And now I'm tired. So a good way to illustrate this is in Matthew chapter 9. What's going on is Jesus comes across a guy named Levi, and he's going to call him to be a disciple. Now, this guy Levi, he's a pretty bad guy. He's a wicked sinner, just an awful guy. So let's read chapter 9, verse 9. Let's see. And as Jesus passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom, and he said unto him, Follow me, and he arose and followed him. So now Matthew has become a follower of Jesus. And what I'm going to do is go down to verse 11. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to his disciples, Why are you eating with publicans and sinners? But when Jesus heard that, he said unto them, They that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. Now what's happening is because Matthew is such a egregious sinner, and now that Jesus is eating with him, people are saying, why is he eating with this bad guy? But verse 13, Jesus says, But go and learn what this means. I will have mercy and not sacrifice. For I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. And now, so what he's quoting is he's quoting a book in the Old Testament called Hosea. He's quoting Hosea chapter 6, verse 6. Now, Hosea chapter 6, verse 6, it says, right here, God says, For I desired mercy and not sacrifice, the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. If you go to the Old Testament, you'll see that there's a bunch of, sacrifices that Israelites have to make consistently. But God doesn't enjoy having to make them do these sacrifices because God just wants the hearts of the people. In other words, he wants relationship with his people. The problem is Jesus isn't born yet in the Old Testament, so there's no way for a person to come directly to God. So in the New Testament, Jesus has made each one of us 100% holy, 100% new. And because we're 100% holy, 100% new, just like Jesus, we now can go directly to God. And so that's why in the New Testament, there's no such thing as sacrifices and all of those things. But from the very beginning, this is what God has always wanted. He's always wanted to be able to talk to you one-on-one, to establish a relationship with you. And that as a Christian, you don't have to sacrifice anything for this relationship. You've already given up your whole life for Jesus, like that's already happened. But as a Christian, you don't have to do anything else to have a relationship with God. In other words, what I could say is you living a better life does not make God love you more. It doesn't make God have a better relationship with you, but rather the love God has for you will always be the same. It's always going to be 100% constant. And that you, as the receiver, it's up to you how much of his love you want to receive. It's up to you how much you want to talk to him. So as you go through your day, I want you to take the time to just ask God, hey, God, what do you want to tell me today? Is there anything that I need to hear from you today? Is there anything that could help me today, could help me in this next season of my life? And I promise you that you'll see that he responds to you and that he delights in having a conversation with you. So with that said, have a good rest of your Wednesday day, and I'll see you on Friday.